Welcome back to Jimmy's Train Station and Travel Adventures. I'm Uncle Jimmy, and today we will be building a HO scale kit. And the kit is from Carolina Craftsman, and it's called Cruisewick Pencil Factory, and that's a background building. I paid approximately $65 for this kit. Here's a picture of what it looks like. And you can also see this kit built on Jason Jensen Trains, which I follow on YouTube. He's another YouTuber, and he's inspired me a lot. I love watching his videos. Very detailed. He's a very good artist, does a very good job, and that's where I learned a lot of my techniques. So I always like to give credit where credit's due. But this is the kit, and what it consists of is we got some cardboard pieces here, some acetate for the windows, different size pieces of roofing, and other cardboard pieces. You have all your bracing and your trim here. The straw I would take probably is used for chimney, most likely. And then you have your plastic pieces here, which are all your windows and doors and staircase, little black piece. You got some more trim, probably goes around the windows. And then of course you have all your wood pieces here I've got lined up for your building. And at the very end, we have the signs for the building that you cut out and make for the sign. And then most important of all is the directions. Now the directions are very detailed, of course, always are. Have your bracing template here for your bracing on your back of your wood piece structures, which are these. Now it's very important to brace these pieces before you attempt to paint or even glue them together, because once they get wet with the paint they seem to warp because the wood is really thin. So I haven't decided on a collar scheme yet or anything, but the first thing we will do is we will brace these pieces and read the instructions first. Of course, I like always reading the instructions, especially if you're a new modeler. Now, I've been doing this for a little over a year, and I've got some experience, but I still like reading these over very well before I even begin. So that's the first thing I will do. We always lay out the parts, make sure they're all there. Now, I like to paint and put the windows and doors in before, or weather, and also if you want to make the building look older by lifting pieces of clapboard, you can do that, and I'll show you how to do that if I decide to do that. But I always like doing everything following directions. But as far as preparing the walls, I always go through the whole techniques of even including putting signs on the building before I even put the structure together. So sit back, enjoy, watch the video, and I'll start by reading the instructions and looking over, and then we'll go from there. I'm back, and I read the directions, and as far as I hope I am right, as far as I can see on these directions, these two pieces of walls, the way I read, it looks like they come together with the bracing glued to put them together. And this piece down here has, I don't know if this piece is broken off the edge of this or it just came like that, but these two little pieces here get these two little pieces of wood bracing, and then you put the other two pieces here on this piece like so. And the top gets three pieces. I've already got them cut to measurement. And then these two walls, I suppose, are these walls, and they get these two pieces of bracing. So let's hope I'm right. I looked at the directions well and studied them before I cut these to make sure. But basically, I use simple wood glue, Elmer's wood glue for my wood kits, or you can get the Gorilla wood glue is really nice too. I use both of them. And basically all we're going to do is we're basically going to glue these pieces kind of like this, these two pieces together. And same thing here, want to go here, and the other piece will go across the door opening like so. And then we got these here that are glued like this. And of course up here we have these. So basically all you're doing is gluing these pieces to build the structure a little bit better, and especially when you paint these so that they don't warp. So we'll go ahead and do that and get these pieces together. I'll probably have to glue these two pieces together on the side to make them, and then we'll let them dry, and then we'll go to the next step. So that's it for now, and I'll be right back for the next step. Back, and we've got all the bracing done. I had to read the directions a little bit more to understand the actual structure of this building, but I did figure it out. And these pieces here I've already braced, as you can see. They're all glued together, and they're drying. They're pretty much dry, so I can work with that. The little end pieces. So basically with this structure, these go to, this is a background structure, so it ain't very thick. It's usually used in the background scene. But you take these pieces here, and they go on the side of the building glued on like this, and then you put the roof pieces. So as you can see, I hope you can see that. My finger's kind of in the way, but it's not a very thick building. So that's what the two end pieces that go on the sides. Same way with this building here. This sits on top of the structure. It's left its natural color. And these little pieces here get glued to the sides like this on each end. Now there's no pieces for the back, and what they want you to do is to black out the inside of the building, the windows, and then use just a piece of cardboard, which I will probably use this piece here. It's really thin. I'll use it for the back of the buildings to enclose them. This basically, reading the direction, this is used to make congregated metal, which goes to the top part of the main building over the windows. But I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to use congregated metal that I have bought from a hobby store. It's really thin. I can use it to cut around the windows so the windows show through, and I'm just going to rust that up, that metal, to look like the top there, as you can see. And it calls for turquoise color for the bottom, which that's what I'm using here, turquoise. And the way the instructions read on painting is you start toward the top with thicker paint and go toward the bottom with less. Now it calls to add turquoise paint with some blue and some green, but I'm just going with the natural color, because like I told you before, it's your world, your building, your ideas. You don't have to go exactly with the model. So I'm going to paint one of these end pieces. I'm not going to sit here and film the whole process, but I'm going to show you how to do that, starting at the top and going down lightly, how I did accomplish that. So I'm going to set my camera down here, and I'm going to try to do this in front of the camera so you can see it. Find me a paintbrush here that I'm happy with. I'm going to go with this thicker brush here to do this. And make sure your brush is clean and ready to be used. I'm going to dip it in the turquoise here. kind of get off the excess because I don't want a whole bunch of paint on my brush for this process. Now, I'm pretty much sticking to Jensen's instructions on how he did his, but there might be just a little bit of differences. So at the top, what you want to do, I'm going to try to do this on camera, is start thicker at the top. And as you go down the bottom, leaving some spaces of wood showing through, and get lighter on the brush as you go down, because you want to make it look like its paint is worn off until you hardly got any paint at all on the bottom of the structure. So you basically is just using just a little bit of paint, not a lot, but like I said, at the top you can go a little thicker, a little darker. To get basically this look to it, and that's the look you really want to accomplish when doing this. So at the top, like I said, it's darker, and as it goes to the bottom, it gets lighter. Now we're going to let that dry. I'm going to do all the wood that way, and after you do that, we're going to use a base coat of burnt umber. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of paint and mostly water and make it like a wash and mix that together. Mostly it's going to be a water base, really thin. And once this dries, we'll go over to pieces with that to give it an aged look. And that's what we're going to do next. And like I said, the top part of the building, this, which you can see is the top, we're going to leave a natural color. We might do a little burnt umber wash to it, just to darken up the wood. And then we'll come back and we'll have that done, and we'll go from there. We're back and we got the pieces painted. It's still drying, but as you can see, we've done the turquoise color, and then I went over it with some watered down burnt umber to give it an aged look. I've got a little bit of warping going on the side, as you can see, but I don't think it's going to be that bad because I did paint the back of it to keep it from warping too bad. And then with the top portion of the building, I went ahead and done a light coat of burnt umber because I didn't want to leave it natural looking, but aged wood look. And what's going to happen is this is going to dry, and as it dries, it will get a little lighter. It won't be as dark. Same way with this. But as you can see, you get the general idea. Next, what we'll do is we will put the signs probably on it and use some powdered chalk. We have this one sign here that I have to put on a piece of cardboard, and we'll give it an aged look, rusted look, by using maybe some of this color here, paprika, and it's like this kind of color. It gives it a little rust color, and we'll use the sponge technique. And all we're going to do is we're going to, on the actual paper sign, is we're going to take it, and what we'll do is we'll just dab here and there like this across the sign, darker in some spots, making it look like rust, making it give an aged look. We're going to do that same technique on the doors. I'm going to use like a light peach color, skin color almost, on these doors and windows, I've decided. Then we're going to use the paprika, and we're going to rust it up the same way with the sponge to give that effect. Maybe we'll water this down, and we'll do some streaks on the wood here to make it look like rust running down. And then we'll get the windows put in and the doors. We'll get the structure together, a roof on it, And then, but what we'll do is, next thing I'll show you before we actually put the building together is I'm going to do the technique with the sponge on this. We're going to color it probably maybe a beige color, and then or I might just go with the natural color. I might just go with the natural color and put some rust on it with this color and make it look rusted. And I'll show you how to do that next, and before I put the structure together. Then we're going to cut that congregated metal into smaller pieces like on here to fit it toward the top. It don't have to be even, as you can see. It can give the rough look. And then once that glues over the windows, it's no problem because you can just simply cut out. It's really thin. The congregated metal is really thin pieces. As you can see, it's almost like an aluminum foil type thinness to it. And just take your razor blade like this and just cut around. After you glue it on, you can go on the back side and just cut the pieces out as needed, and then you can put your windows over. So that'll be the next thing I'll show you actually before I put the building together and put the sign on it, and then put the windows and doors in. So we'll go from there. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to show you the technique of this congregated metal and how to paint it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to adjust my camera here a bit out of the way. I'll take a simple piece of sponge that you get for dishwashing. I've got my paint here, and all I'm going to do is basically dip the corner of the sponge in there, and then take a lot of the excess paint off. You really don't need a lot. And once you get some excess off, you simply just start dabbing here and there. And you want to turn your sponge as you go, because you don't want the same pattern going across the whole thing. And you're basically just dabbing it on. A little bit of paint goes a long way. Dab a little bit more paint. You can go thicker in some places and lighter on others. And make sure that, like I said, you actually are turning it as you go, because you don't want the same exact pattern to say. And just lightly dab and turn all the way across. Thicker in some places, add a little more pressure to get thicker. And you come up with something like this to give it the rust look. Now if you get some bubbles like this in certain spots, just go over it and dab it a little bit more. Take the bubbles out for the thickness. And we're going to let that dry, and then we're going to cut it into smaller strips. So you get generally the idea of how we do that to make it look rusted and aged a little bit. And we'll go from there. We'll paint these doors, like I said, a light skin color and beige or skin color type peach maybe. And then we'll use the same technique of the sponge over the doors and windows. I might even go a white color. I haven't decided, but I think a peach color is going to look more better, like a skin tone. And then we'll have the building together and the sign put on, and maybe the trim on the side, and we'll go from there. What it looks like, we'll add the roof, of course, the cardboard roof and the cardboard backing to enclose the building, dark out the windows, and we'll go from there. All right, we're back, and we've got the building pretty much put together. Now I've done quite a bit of detail to the building. I haven't finished the whole building yet with the dock. I've got to do the dock, I've got to put the chimney on and paint the straw for the pipes on the chimney. I got to paint the stairs for the dock and add some people and some little detail. I do have some trim here that I've painted for the edge of the building. I have my step to paint yet. Some little details, some boxes and crates, a barrel that's already painted, little crate here I've done, and of course I gotta put the sign up, the pencil sign. I've got to make that one and put it on top of the roof. But I pretty much have the model built, the main structure, and I'm going to show it to you what I have so far. And then in our last part of the video, I will have the completed model done, and I'll come back and show you the completed model. But this is what I have so far. I think I did a pretty decent job on it. I used construction paper that I painted gray over and then sanded it, which I learned that on Jason Jensen. I hope you can see it. I did it my own way. I didn't put the metal clear across the top. I put it in pieces. I wanted to try something different. I've got the dock doors painted real well. It's kind of hard. Let me shine a light here and show you so you can see it a little bit better. Put some light on it. There we go. I don't know how that's looking on camera, but as you can see, I got the little sign on there. Got the top part put on the top part, and I'll put the pipes right here on the top of the roof. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. And like I said, this is a background structure, so it's going to go in the back of my layout. And as you can see to the side, it's not very wide. The back of it is just cardboard backing, which it's not going to show when I do my layout because it'll be in the background, the very back of my layout. And the windows I'm happy with because they darkened out the way I wanted because I didn't want no light shining through. But all in all, I'm happy with it. And once I get the dock attached and glued, and little people and the sign on top and the rest of it done, then I'll come back and I'll show you the finished product. Well, folks, we're back and I have it finished. I think I did pretty good. I'm proud of it. Got the sign on top of the roof. I have the figures and the deck done, and the loading dock. That's what I meant, not the deck, but the loading dock. I have the pipes put up on top of the roof, and so I'm going to show you the finished project. So, folks, this is what I have. I have the sign up on top, like I said. I've got the figures down at the bottom. Let me put some more light on it again. Sometimes it's hard to see here in this room. But you can see I got the figures there. The top's done, the roof, the pipes. I painted a rust color. So it turned out pretty good. And like I said, it is just a background piece. So it'll go in the back of my setup. So it'll be off in the distance. And it won't be in the front of my setup. So that's what these background pieces are for. I kind of like this kit. It was fun to build. I didn't build it exactly like Jason Jensen did, but I did close. So yeah, that's the finished project. So once again, I'm Uncle Jimmy with Jimmy's Train Station and Travel Adventures, and I hope you've enjoyed this build, and I'll try to put a build on every week or something about models. And also look forward to this week. I'm putting out another travel video. I'm going to work on it tomorrow. So until then, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button. Feel free to leave comments and suggestions of other models you'd like to see. Hit the notification bell to let you know when a new video is uploaded. And until next week, this is Uncle Jimmy with Jimmy's Train Station and Travel Adventures. And until then, model on.